Washington, D.C. is a great place to visit and a great place to work, but it is not a great place to drive. However, they do have a metro rail system that's really easy to use and it gets you around. It can be intimidating to some though, so I have built out a training course to be able to tell you exactly how to use it, and it's based off of the template from the new roadside inspection courses. If I could only find an enthusiastic, excited group of people, I could show you exactly how all these templates work. Oh, wait a minute, I do have one. Welcome back from break. So now we're going to start Module 2, and we're going to figure out how to ride the transit system in Washington, D.C. Okay? So if you turn in your books to page 2-1, you'll see there's steps 2 through 8. So when I take a look at the slide that I'm on, I see a 2-1-2. That indicates to me that I'm in Module 2, page 1, on the second slide of that page. So when I flip, and I can point them to the page 2-1 here, that information is here on the slide, so I can present what's on this slide knowing I'm covering that information. And when I'm finished, I can go to the next slide and I see 2-2-1. So as soon as I see that 2-2, I'm going to tell them to turn their page to 2-2 so that they're always on the appropriate page. And they're going to see the same inspection procedure that's here on this slide. And then I can tell them that we're going to focus on route your trip. So we're going to start with routing the trip. So if you want to turn your page to 2-3. So again, now I flip to 2-3. So I have the students turn their page to 2-3. You'll see the map here. You'll see the map here on the slide. You'll also see down here in the corner the toolbox. This toolbox doesn't hyperlink anywhere, but it's an indicator to both the instructor and the student that this map is not only in their participant manual for them to view now, it's also in the toolbox for them to use later. A metro map's really important. If you don't have a metro map, you don't know where to get on, you don't know where to get off. So this one's really important. And if you flip your page over to 2-4, you have to know your stop, okay? You could walk around all day long and you're going to see these pillars in Washington, D.C., but you have to know which one you got to go to. So then we're going to enter the metro. So before we go any further, we have a video clip here. So anytime there's a video in the course, it will simply populate on the next slide, and you just have to click for the video to start to play. But also, inside of your instructor manual, right beside the slide, there's a little video icon to show you that there's a video on that slide. So we're just going to watch the video clip, and it's going to go over the next couple of steps for us to give you an idea of where we're going, and then we'll just review what was in the video.
Riding the Washington, D.C. Metro Rail can be fun and safe if you follow these simple steps. The first step to riding the Metro is getting to the Metro. When on an escalator, the left side is for walking and the right side is for standing. Please don't stand on the left side of an escalator. People may need to pass by. Riding the Metro requires a fare card. To purchase a new fare card, follow these 18 simple steps. Select the type of card. Enter the purchase amount. Press C when done. Press C again to complete the transaction. Insert money or choose a payment type by pressing B or C. Insert and remove the payment card. Choose whether or not you want a receipt. Remove your new card. Finally, collect your receipt. If you're using an existing fare card, you may check your balance by tapping your card at the ticketing machine. You may also check your card balance while passing through a fare gate. You must pass through a fare gate to enter the Metro Rail station. Choose a gate with a green arrow, tap your card, and proceed through the gate. Be sure to tap your card to the right of the gate entrance. Tapping to the left will pay for your neighbor's fare. And while that's a lovely act of kindness, a metro station is no place for that type of behavior.
Okay, so you saw their escalators. Based on the video, where should you be when you're on an escalator?
On the right.
Stay to the right, okay? That dude was on the left, got pushed over by some blonde lady, and then went right back to the left, and he needed his friend to get him out of the way. So if you're from Oklahoma and you've never been on an escalator before, then maybe you just need to use the elevator, because that seems to be the way he wanted to go. Okay? So then we're going to move on. So if you turn to 2-5 in your book, is everybody following along? You're all on 2-5? Okay. So when I flip the slide over to 2-5-1, I know it's time to turn the page. I turn the page, I do a quick glance on my instructor guide side, and I see I have 6 slides that are going to cover the content on the participant side of this book. So I'm going to start teaching through, and as I do, you'll see down here 2-5-2. That is my second slide on 2-5. Then that's my third slide on 2-5. My fourth slide on 2-5, and finally my fifth and my sixth slide on 2-5. When I click again, I see it turn to 2-6-1. I now know I have to go back over here, tell the class, turn your page to 2-6. They are now looking at their participant manual, and I know I have 1 slide to cover for this page. Now, if you take a look here, you'll see an inspection bulletin. It is 2024-99. You guys already told me you saw that icon on the bottom of your page. So when there's an inspection bulletin that comes up in the course, every inspection bulletin is on the slide. There's a PDF icon down in the bottom left corner that indicates to both the class and the instructor that the inspection bulletins are in the PDF that they downloaded off of CVSA Learning. There isn't time in the course to go through all the detail and read the bulletins in full, so every bulletin has bullets outlining the key parts of the inspection bulletin so that you can quickly go through the contents of the bulletin. And also, inside of their participant manual, there's always an icon on the participant manual page to remind the students when they're reviewing the course material that there's an inspection bulletin that they might want to go reference. So if you take a look at the inspection bulletin in your PDF, you'll see there that it talks about fees for 2024. They may change annually, so this bulletin gets updated every year. So Cassie, how much does a 3-day unlimited pass cost?
A 3-day unlimited pass costs only $28.
$28. So that's not bad, eh? 3-day unlimited pass. If you're riding around this city for 3 days for $28, you can ride as much as you want. So that's not bad, okay? Gate jumping. It happens here in DC. So you'll notice down here, DC Law 118-2A. So there is a regulation of DC law in your toolbox. So anytime there's a regulation reference on a slide, you will see that here. You'll be accustomed to this from the old course. You've got a regulation screen here, and then the regulation is underneath. In this particular case, the regulation I want this class to refer to is in the toolbox. That's why the toolbox icon is there as well. Also, in the book, in their participant manual, the regulation is always underneath the subject that we're talking to so that the student can refer back to their book and go to the appropriate regulation. There is a regulation of DC law in your toolbox indicating just recently that there's new legislation as of 2022 that if you jump the gate, you will be fined $100 if you don't give the security guy your name and address. So now we're at step 6. So before we move on, you're going to see another video clip here about boarding and riding the train.
Flashing lights on the station platform signals that a train is approaching. While waiting to board the train, please stand to the side of the car door, allowing for other riders to exit the train before boarding. When choosing a seat, reserve priority seating for those who need it. Move over to the window seat, allowing others the opportunity to sit as well. If traveling with a backpack or purse, hold the item on your lap to free up seating for others. If you suffer from motion sickness, avoid seats facing opposite the direction of travel. When standing, use the handrail for support. When using the handrail for support, use deodorant. Do not stare at other passengers.
If you take a look in your toolbox, you'll find an operational policy, okay? What does the policy say? Shannon?
Do not sit in outside seats and not allow someone to sit next to you. Do not put your belongings next to you on the seat. Use deodorant in case you have to stand on the train so you don't offend others.
Okay, so there's the policy. So with operational policies, it's very similar to the inspection bulletins. You'll see the operational policy. Generally, it's just the policy portion that we're speaking of. So in here, you've got the crowded trains policy. Down here, those are in the toolbox. So there's a toolbox icon to remind the students and the instructor that it's in the toolbox. And then in their participant manual, every time there's an operational policy that's relevant to this information, there's an icon here telling them where to go and in what policy. So there's the policy. And then now we are going to exit the train station. We're not going to watch the video clip right now. We'll watch it at the end of the course. But if you turn to page 2-11, you will see there, it may be necessary to switch trains. It's not always you get on the green line and get off on the green line. And like I showed you way at the beginning, we got on the green line, we got off the green line, and we got on what line again? Silver line to get to the Smithsonian. So we have to switch trains. So Jeremy, what's this one called?
Elephant Plaza.
Lafont.
L'Elephant Plaza.
Lafont.
L'Elephant Plaza.
Lafont.
Okay.
Lafont, yes, yeah, okay. So I need to get off at Lafont Plaza. It is one of those train stations you can see here. These big round circles here tell you that it's a transfer station. So, important to note, if you're on the green line, this map is drawn in a manner that it's on top of the blue, the silver, and the orange. Anytime there's a question in the instructor guide to help assist the class understand the content on the slide, you will see it highlighted in yellow on the instructor guide so that it stands out. So if you get off the green line and you have to find the blue line, Amy,
Yes,
are you going upstairs or downstairs?
you would head downstairs.
Is the green line on top of the blue line or underneath the blue line?
While on the map, the yellow and the green line are above the other lines.
Right. So this map is drawn that way. The red line is on top of the yellow and the green line. And then if you turn to page 13 in your book, now we've got to exit. Adrian, why would you want to know what street your destination is on when you're in the station?
Well, because depending on where you're headed, it can take a lot longer to get where you're going based on the exit you leave because they can be pretty far apart.
Right. So now we will finish out the video and see if these two guys got out of the metro station or not.
When navigating through metro rail stations, keep in mind that there are two types of station platforms. For example, at the waterfront station, if you're on a train and you've missed your stop, you can simply walk across the center of the platform to catch a train moving the opposite direction. If you're quick enough. A transfer station like L'Enfant Plaza supports multiple train lines on 2 levels. When navigating through a station such as L'Enfant, pay close attention to track signage throughout the station. Failure to do so may result in you ending up on the wrong side of the tracks, literally. Following these simple guidelines when riding Washington, D.C.'s metro rail system will help make your commute fun and safe. Maybe fun is the wrong word. And are we ever really safe?
Okay, so in summary, for this module, we will research our trip. This is all on 2-14. So at the end of every module in the courses, there's either review slides, there are inspection task scenarios, or there's knowledge checks throughout. to make sure that the class is understanding. So if you take a look at your instructor guide, you'll see all the thumbnails for the review slides. And in this particular course, we're asking, is the person in violation? And if so, why? Bill, is this gentleman sitting in the right seat or the wrong seat?
No, he needs to slide over so he's next to the window so somebody can sit next to him.
Correct, correct. Is this guy doing the right thing or the wrong thing on the escalator? Both of them at this point, John?
Yeah, they're both, they're standing, so they're both on the right side, so that's correct.
Yep, so they're both on the right side of the escalator where they're supposed to be. So very good. Does anybody have any questions about this module before we move on to figuring out how to take the bus? Thanks for listening, and I hope this helps clarify some of the changes to the course curriculum.